That means $10 more that the federal government has to end up paying in the end for, first of all, if you lost the job, so they have to pay the unemployment, and then they have to pay for that person's health insurance, and they have to pay Social Security. And so it's just more money for the federal government. If we don't pay it, then the federal government has to pay it. And if we don't buy American. And because we're running up so much deficit, the federal government's having to turn around and turn to China and borrow, and they've got this glut of US dollars with, burning a hole in their pocket. And we have to borrow our own money that we lent over there back to fund our deficit. Okay? And assuming that this, they borrow $2.50 back by giving them our T-bills, then our children are going to end up having to pay that back in principal and interest. So, in effect, what happens is that $5 saved now turns out to be $5 later that our children will have to pay back when we pay the Chinese back for their treasury bonds. And that just doesn't make much sense at all. So, in conclusion, we need to take care of the poor. We need to let doctors deduct their charity care. We need to switch to full reserve. We need to get rid of the alternative minimum tax. We need to switch to full reserve banking, which, hey, full reserve banking would allow, if we could print $12 trillion, and if we switch to full reserve banking, I bet the demand for money from the federal government for dollars would be so great that it probably, I don't know if it would probably offset the printing of all that money. It would soak up all the extra dollars. And so we could, and then the increased revenue at going to full reserve banking would close the deficit gap. So we'd balance the budget, we'd pay off our national debt, and we wouldn't cause any inflation. And then we need to use the power of the tariff to protect our U.S. Businesses, manufacturing, against foreign competition. And those are some of my ideas for how to fix America. Well, they're not my ideas, but they're my favorite ideas that I've heard.